Hi, how's it going? Hare Krishna.
Oh yeah, looks like it's recording.
Good. So thank you all for joining us. It's very kind of you. I know, Kirtaneshwar, you've got to go off and do some Harinam. And, well, all of you have things to do. We're going to talk about desires. Yeah, I can see it. We're going to talk about desires today. How can we end? Let me start it with a question. Does anybody have an idea how we could end this constant flow of desires that's always being thrown upon us? Anybody have any ideas? Is there a way to end this constant flow of desires that are hitting us?
We can't.
Huh?
That we can't.
We can't? There's a
Yeah,
wise
we can't.
We can't. The problem isn't with desiring, because this is the nature of the living entity. The pure spirit soul, as part and parcel of Krishna, we are like Krishna. We're part and parcel. We're the same DNA. Oh, Hare Krishna. Didn't see you come in. So, and I didn't get to say hi to you properly. We are part and parcel of Krishna, meaning I've used the example like the sun and the sunshine. What's the difference between the sun and the sunshine? You can hold your hand in the sunshine and you can feel the heat. There's radiation, it'll burn you. It's light, gives off light. It is the sun, and yet it's not the sun. The sun is 93 million miles away, but it's nothing more than sunlight. So the sun is the energetic. It sends out that energy. The sunlight is the energy. So we, the living entities, we're very much like that in our relationship with the Supreme. He is the energetic. He from which everything cometh. He is the source of everything. We hear so much talk these days about connecting with the source, don't we? People, have you heard that? People talk about, Jivananda's here. He just got back from India not too long ago. He was in Mayapur. His wife owns a yoga studio. And those people in the yoga world, they use that all the time. Connect with the source, So what is that source? The source is that from which everything is emanating. So let's identify it. If we want to connect with it, we need to, if you want to hit a target, first thing you got to do is get your sights on it. Until you get a bead on the target, you cannot hit it, unless it's just some accidental thing. So the Supreme Lord Krishna says that. Krishna says it. Who else says that? Does anybody know in any religion where who said, did Buddha say that? I am the source of everything? No. Did Jesus say that? Huh?
That his father is.
He said his father is. Well, he knew Krishna. Krishna is his father. Some people would say, I don't believe Krishna was Jesus' father. Well, then how do you know he wasn't? And who would be a better choice to be a father than that beautiful, all-attractive creature, the source of love? Who would be a better choice? Who would be? So I've asked that a lot, and I don't get any answers. People don't say, oh, well, it's this one or it's that one, Who? So we see that our candidates for who that supreme source could be are very low. We don't even have two candidates running here. So you can only vote for one, and that's Krishna. And Krishna says, I am that source. That's me. So Krishna is the source of everything, and he desires constantly. He's always desiring. What is he desiring? He's desiring to share love with you. not just be loved, but to share love. We talked last week that, what was that? Russ Cayley, 11th chapter, we were talking. 14th, 11th canto, 14th chapter, 20th verse, where Krishna is saying that those who perform this devotional service, I come under their control. I mean, he just puts it out there. Now, Krishna, being God, has tremendous confidence. But what he's saying, he's trying to say, look, you will own me. You purchase me by your love for me. If your love becomes perfect for Krishna, you have purchased him. You own him. He says that in different places. So Krishna doesn't just expect and demand love coming just from you to him. You see, that would be like awe and reverence. Many people want to have a relationship with God that is awe and reverential. You know, like just groveling, bowing. And if God were to say, come, give me a hug. Oh, my Lord, really? No, I don't think I could. You see, that's okay. That's pious. But it's not on the graduation level of spiritual consciousness and spiritual development. The source of beauty and the source of love is very attractive. Krishna, God, whoever's face you want to put in that position of God, if he's truly God, he has to be the most attractive. He's the source of beauty, love, you see. So, when your devotional development becomes somewhat mature, you're going to want to get closer. It's like George Harrison says in that song. I don't remember which song, but I really want to know you. I really want to see you.
My sweet Lord.
My sweet Lord, yeah. How could I forget that? You know? Huh?
I really want to be with you.
I really want to be with you. I want to know you. So now how does this work? I've got to get over a hump of just desiring God to give me, which is pious. Only the pious will go to God and say, my dear Lord, please give me, help me graduate med school. You see, Hare Krishna, my dear Lord, please give me this and give me that and give me daily bread. That is pious. Only the pious do that. The impious people think I can do it myself and I don't need God, and I'm not even sure that God, if he's there, has ever done anything for me. That's impious. The pious know that there is a God, they're firmly convinced, and they will approach him. My God, my dear Lord, please help. Please help me. I have no other avenue. I have no other place to go for this help. I need you, you see. So once we graduate from that level, it's like Radha, she's graduated from college. She's going to go on to med school. And then what is it? Residency, and then fellowship, and then retirement, because you're going to be 70 by the time you get out of school. You know, no wonder doctors charge so much. So you graduate through different levels. Spiritual life is just like that. So once you graduate out of the level of desiring everything from God, which is pious, not that there's anything wrong with it, you know, because sometimes people say, well, what's wrong? There's nothing wrong with it. But after so many billions of births of desiring, God give me this, and God fulfill that, and whatever, we get to the point to where we say, my dear Lord, you have given to me and given to me and given to me consistently for eternity. And now I'm starting to feel a little bit of gratitude. I mean, real gratitude from the heart, from the soul. I am grateful. And now I feel some love. The seed of love has been planted because I realize that you're my dearmost friend and ever well wisher. You're just always looking out for me. What can I do for you? So, did our desires go away? No. They matured. Now, my Lord, instead of me desiring for you to give me, I'm desiring for you to empower me to give you. I want to give to you. I want to serve you. Now, it's not like I'm thinking that I am the power, and I can do for God. No, he has to empower me. If I'm going to serve God, I need resources. I'm not the source of anything. I'm the source of desires. You see? So, my dear Lord, I need resources for me to serve you. Give me some intelligence. Give me some knowledge. And whatever resources that you feel that I need to serve you in whatever capacity that you want me to, I'm begging you to empower me. I want to speak to others about you and your glories and your beauty. I need you to empower me to speak on you. You see, whatever I do, I'm depending on your empowerment to do that. So we don't think anymore that I am the doer. It's being done through me. It's just like Jivananda is an accomplished musician, great guitar player, very good. And so when you give a guitar concert, at the end people applaud, don't they?
Sometimes.
Well, hopefully. But it's not the guitar that they're applauding. Well, the guitar made the sound, but you made the guitar. You empowered the guitar to make this sound. So you are the source of the energy that made this happen. Kirtaneshwar Guranga is also an empowered guitar player, maker, manufacturer, repairer, everything. Call 1-800-FIX-MY-GUITAR. So, slipped in a little commercial for you there. So, no, you become the instrument of God. Now, people don't know. In this case, people see Jivananda up there wailing on that guitar, and they can see Kirtaneshwar Guranga making it happen. You see, but in this case, you're there. They're not seeing God. These people may not even be conscious of God, or what to speak of his presence. So Krishna is acting through you. Now, how do you think Krishna feels about that? That you're going to get the appreciation and you're going to get the credit. And he's using you as his instrument. Do you think he's going to be disappointed? How come they don't give me the credit? I'm the doer here. No, Krishna wants you to get the credit. He doesn't need the credit. You prayed to him, my dear Lord, hear my prayer. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So if you can put a little bit of sincerity in that, you're begging Krishna, my dear Lord, please empower me to serve you. Please give me some loving devotional service that I can perform to please you. You see? So then Krishna says, oh, that's a really sweet prayer. As a matter of fact, that's the sweetest prayer. So yes, I will empower you. And I want you to get the credit. So many people will say, oh, that was such a a wonderful this or a wonderful that. That was a really wonderful, informative class, or that was a really delightful kirtan. And so you graciously accept, thank you very much, but you know you're passing it right on to your spiritual master who has linked you to this potency. Guru links you to the string of gurus all the way back to the very source. So you accept graciously on behalf of your spiritual master, his spiritual master, all the way back to Krishna. Thank you, my dear Lord. So Krishna wants you to have the credit, you see. So these desires can never really be satisfied because that's the nature of the living entity. Why? Because you're part and parcel. You're a chip off the source, chip off the old source. He desires, therefore you desire. He is happy. He's the source of happiness. Therefore you are happy when you find your natural self. He's eternal. You're eternal. You are Sat Chit Ananda. He's eternal. Sat, you're Sat. You're eternal. He is full of knowledge. Chit, so are you. You are full of knowledge. He is eternally blissful. He's the source of bliss. So are you. But now you've got to find that real you. You see? So he's always desiring to exchange love with you. So therefore, you're always desiring something, except we're pointing our desires in the wrong direction. I've got a desire to please him. I've got to develop that desire to please the Supreme Lord. And until I do that, I'm going to desire to please moi. Good old number one. You see, self-interest. Now, in the material world, people will tell you self-interest, that's good. You need that. You've got to look out for yourself. Well, in the kind of world that we see that's going on today, we were talking last night at Radha's house, the state of the world, for out of greed, some sort of desire, Russia has decided they have to go kill millions of people or I don't know if it's reached millions yet, but let's say tens of thousands of people in the Ukraine. You see, for what purpose? It's greed. You see, so out of some greed, there's some money there somehow, whatever. A lot of people don't know, but the Ukraine is a very rich place. It used to be called the breadbasket of the Soviet Union when it was part of the Soviet Union. Very fertile, lots of resources. Most of the nickel in the world, it comes from there. So anyway, there's going to be shortages of various things that are going to impact the rest of the world because it's shut down. So there's some greed there. We may not know the full story of what it is that Russia wants. Actually, it's not Russia. It's just one or two people. From what I hear from the Russians, the people that I know in Russia, they're saying, I wish we would get out of there. It's not like the Russians are fully behind this, see? But are all the Americans fully behind the wars when we go someplace? No. So we have this desire, self-interest, and that's what keeps you going. That's what gets you rich, and that's what keeps you rich. So this is the theme of the material world. Look out for number one, you see? So that is just the opposite of spiritual consciousness. Spiritual consciousness means I want to serve the Supreme Lord and all of his parts and parcels. Because I've realized myself, and I know that I am Sat Chit Ananda. I am eternal. I am spirit. I'm eternal. So I'm okay. Now, this body can be a little fragile. You can be forced out of these bodies. That's okay. I'll take another body or go back to Krishna. That's okay. I am eternal. So now I have the knowledge that I am eternal. Now, those two together should help me get my ananda, my bliss. I should be always happy, always happy. Now, even if we're always happy, we can lament a little bit about losing a close friend, or something that negative that might happen to us. There's going to be a moment of lamentation, and then we're going to see, now this fits into Krishna's plan. Because now I see myself as his devotee, I'm actually interested in his plan. Anybody that believes in God can say, yeah, I believe God has a plan. I mean, if your concept of God is something that thinks, and I'm not talking about the universe. You probably see that crowd up there at the yoga store, and they put it out to the universe. Well, I don't know if you say that, then you're implying that the universe thinks. So now you're giving it a personality, but you're trying to be an impersonalist. You confuse me. You see, so it's like when we used to preach in Asheville, Durlov, remember? We had all those, it's like a whole room full of Mayavadis who were trying to give them Krishna consciousness. It was fun, I've continued preaching to Mayavadis. I'll tell you some stories when this is over. Very interesting. And so, anyway, we should change the direction that we're pointing our desires. We need to purify our desires. We cannot stop desiring. You cannot do it. I need to learn how to serve, not myself. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm covered. It's like when you're eating and your plate is full and someone offers you, you say, no, I'm good. So I'm good. I'm taken care of. So if you can come to that position of realizing that you are part and parcel of Krishna, now you feel okay. You're okay with yourself. People say many times when I'm giving class, around the yoga crowd especially, they say, a lot of people say, I think we just need to learn how to love ourselves. How many hundreds of thousands of times do you hear that? What does that imply? I mean, it's just like if a husband and wife go to what do they call it, a marriage counselor, and the husband, the marriage counselor says to the husband, what is the problem here? And the husband says, I think I just need to learn how to love my wife. Well, what does that imply? There's a problem between him and his wife, you see? So when someone says, I think we need to learn how to love ourselves, they're telling you, I don't love myself. I need to learn how to love my wife because I don't love her. I need to learn how to love me because I don't love me. Why don't I love me? Because I don't know me. You cannot love someone that you do not know, never met, never heard of. And we've got this picture of our persona, the way we present ourselves to the world. And we think of ourselves as this is me. It's like when you go into Facebook. You ever notice when you go into somebody's Facebook, they've got their favorite picture all time of them, and they dress up, they're showing you an image of them. I can't help but think that this word image, Hare Krishna. You guys can't see it, but the room is filling up now. It's just like the old days. So this word image comes, it kind of insinuates imagination. So I have an image, my self-image. And I have the way I want you to see me. But that image that I'm putting forth is just the latest one. Why, throughout my life, I had so many self-images. I've portrayed so many. Tamal Krishna Maharaj, when he was getting his PhD, he wrote a paper, it's more like a book. I think they did turn it into a book. He called it the mask, wearing the mask, something like that. But we wear these different masks, it's like you've got friends that you've known all your life. You go over to their house or their mother's house, and they've got pictures of your friend Johnny, when he was pretending to be a cowboy, little boy. Then you've got Johnny as he's pretending to be a hippie. He's got long hair and a beard. Then you've got Johnny in the 80s with spiked hair, Then you've got Johnny as a yuppie when he got out of college, and he went back to school. He got out of college. Now he's looking like a businessman. So think of all these masks that he's put on. It's like they have, the theater, they have the smiling mask and the frowning mask. That's all we've been doing for billions of lifetimes. I'm putting on a mask. It's a mask. It's the way I need you to see me. And if you see me the way that I portray myself, then maybe we can be friends. And if you don't, we don't have a prayer. You see what I mean? So you're having a problem with yourself, trying to make yourself happy, and you don't know yourself. You don't know. I am this eternally blissful part and parcel of the supreme source of love. People worry about how does the world see me? Do they see me as attractive? Let me ask you a more important question, more important than how does the world see you? How does God see you? When Krishna looks at you, what does he see? Now, he's got eyes that are different from everyone else. You see, he sees the real you. You are his part and parcel. He is the source of beauty, and you are part of that beauty. You're immeasurably beautiful, inconceivably beautiful, because you're his part and parcel. You're full of knowledge. You know almost as much as he does. You're practically on that level of knowledge. He's eternal, you're eternal. So we need to get to the point to where we realize, you know what, I'm starting to think I'm okay. I don't have to worry so much about me, and I'm not really concerned so much how the world sees me. Now, I still want to behave according to time, place, and circumstance. Observe proper etiquette wherever I am. You know, whatever the etiquette is of the circle that I'm in, I need to observe that. But I can't start out with the concern of, I need you to see me a certain way. No. I know how Krishna sees me. And I want you to learn to see you the way Krishna sees you, as his beloved, part and parcel. You see, that's my desire. I'm starting to serve Krishna, and Krishna's confiding in me. You know what? Serve them. You'll serve me by serving them. You see, serve all living entities. So it's like today, one of the reasons we were late, thank you for your patience, was this was the day that, hey, there's Melissa. Hey, Hare Krishna. Good to see you. This was Food for Life Day, feeding the homeless. So do they have to be homeless? What if people have a home that they just want to come and eat? Is that all right? Do they have to verify if they're homeless?
Feeding the hungry. Oh, okay.
Feeding the hungry. All you have to do is be hungry. You just have to be willing to eat. So serving others, but feeding them, we don't just feed them. What is it that you feed them? You feed them Krishna's mercy. That's called prasadam, the mercy of Krishna. Offer it to Krishna. Krishna accepts it, and then he leaves it for you most of the time. Of course, we don't know how much he eats. He might eat some of it. Anyway, so we want to serve by giving people Krishna. He'll give you Krishna Katha, Krishna Kirtan, Krishna Prasadam. We're giving you Krishna. So that's the service. That's the ultimate service. I mean, we may help you, all glories to doctors. We may help you with a medical problem. You know, that would be very good. I have a few that I wish somebody could help me with. But beyond that, I still have to serve Krishna, you see. Medical problems or not. So somebody may help you with fix your car. Somebody may come and fix your dryer when your dryer is not good. This is really nice. But if someone helps you with you, who you are, get you straight with yourself and straight with God, well, that's the biggest help. That is the biggest help. And if you meditate on that, that's truly the only help. And if you get this help with serving Krishna, serving others, his parts and parcels, then you're completely fixed. Whatever other problems you may have, Krishna will take care. What was that verse we read last night, Ravindra Prabhu?
I started with the Anand.
Yeah,
922.
922. We were reading Bhagavad Gita from different Mayavadi authors to see how they change. And no matter how they try to change it, Krishna always sneaks in, doesn't he? You can't. The Mayavads were trying to, take Krishna out, but there he is. You can't take him out. But Krishna says, basically in English, Krishna says, for those who surrender unto me, you won't lose anything. I'll preserve what you have. In other words, there's no charge. Surrender unto me, become my loving devotee, worship me. I'll preserve everything you have, and I'll supply whatever you lack. Whatever you need, I'll give you. I mean, so if I've just become Krishna's devotee, Krishna will give me whatever it is that I need. He makes that promise. You see, even if it's translated by the Mayavadis, it still comes through the same. There was no way that they could take Krishna out of that, although they made the big attempt, you see. So, okay, I'm going to read this verse or else I'm going to forget. We're going to read Bhagavad Gita 5:22. There we go. Yahi samsparsa jaboga dukamyo naya evate adyantava. I can't see it. Oh, anyatava kontayana teshu ramate buddha. Thanks.
Can you see when I zoom in and everything?
Well, it's kind of confusing when it keeps getting bigger and smaller.
No. I didn't know.
But it worked.
Okay.
It worked. So here's the translation. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end. And so the wise man does not delight in them. So I desire things that have an end. That's going to cause me frustration. You see, they have a beginning and they have an end. They have a duration. This duration, the concept of duration, something that begins, stays for a while, and then vanishes, that is strictly material in concept. This doesn't happen in the spiritual world. The spiritual world is the real world. This is the reflection. Everything is eternal in the spiritual world. Everything, including us, has no beginning, has no end. Therefore, there's no duration. And if we, as eternal living entities, place our desires in things that can have an end, we're going to ultimately end up frustrated. We may have some enjoyment for a while, but then enjoyment has to go away. Then we lament, oh, but I had this. Oh, but I had that. And then some people say fate took it away. Some people get angry at God. God took it away. I still know a gentleman whose father died when he was 8 years old, and he's in his 70s now. And he told me that for 30 years he hated God. You see, until he got some spiritual understanding. You see, people blame God for a lot of things. What kind of God would allow Russia to invade the Ukraine? Says to put it on him, you know. And yet they don't want God standing there telling you everything to do. You know, what kind of God micromanages my life? Well, how does God win here? What about karma? You know, you do something, in the Bible it says, as ye sow, so shall ye reap. Well, that's the law of karma. And science says, what is it? Newton says for every action, there's an equivalent opposite reaction. You know, what goes around comes around. So the law of karma is there. So why are we blaming God? I get the reaction for something that I did, and I'm blaming Krishna. Well, I need somebody to blame. You know, it's just like a child throwing a tantrum. Well, I'm mad at God. You know, my neighbor ran over my cat. What kind of God lets this happen? Well, come on. It's time to take some medicine, but I'll wait. So it's not that we have desires, it's that we desire things that have an end. That's our problem. If we want to be fulfilled for a really, really, really long time, then we have to start desiring things that don't have an end. Spiritual life does not have an end. Your relationship with God does not have an end. Our relationship with one another does not have an end. The relationship between our bodies has an end. We may be attached to having dear friends, persons around that we love. That's okay. But if I can understand the true science, the real science, then I understand that if someone disappears out of my life, if they leave that body, they're not leaving me. You see, we will be together eternally. We're eternal associates. We're eternally part and parcel of God together. See, if we can understand this, then we'll establish something within us, within the group, within the community, the state, the nation, the world. We'll establish harmony. In the spiritual world, there's perfect harmony. Perfect harmony. Everything is done to please Krishna. Krishna, feeling captivated by your love, is only trying to please you. This reciprocation of love is going on. Like Krishna says, I come under your control when you love me. Well, that's the nature of love, isn't it? When you fall in love with someone, it's as if they control you. You fall in love with the wrong person, then you've got some bad control going on. Fall in love with the proper person, well, now that's sweet. I want my beloved to control me. I want to serve my beloved. This is the nature of love. If that beloved feels like, well, I'm imprisoned by your love, I just want to serve you. Now we've got a real harmony, right? This is working together, you see. So if we can give this science of the relationship between you, the living entities, and God to the world, we will have harmony. This is the real peace formula. We've got to have harmony. Either that or we stop being bad for a while. I mean, how many wars have we had in Europe in the last so many? We all, well, not just Europe, but the world. So how do we stop it? We all have to be looking for the same thing and trying to achieve the same thing. We need some harmony. Because when there's self-interest, I think that your country has some resources that I really like to have. Then ultimately, whenever there's an opportunity, right now there's an economic dilemma in the war, there's an opportunity. Pandemic opens up opportunities for the demoniac to do demoniac things. It also opens up opportunities for the divine, for the devotees to do devotional things. You see, it's just different ways of mind working. One mind is working for myself. The other mind is working for God and all the living entities. So I'm going to wrap it up now. Do we have any questions or comments before we sign off?
One comment. Thought came to mind when you said
Yeah.
Krishna is the source.
Yeah.
The thought that came to mind, computer programmer was Krishna is the open source.
The open source?
Yeah, in the computer world, we have what's called the open source movement, where we do not hide or patent our programs. We just put it for everybody to use.
Oh, I see.
So
That's a good point. Krishna is we have a computer genius here,
No, I'm not a genius.
a computer smart guy.
He's good.
And so he's saying Krishna is not only the source, he's the open source. Like in the computer world, somebody puts something out there.
Free for everyone.
It's free for everyone to use. So Krishna is equal to everyone. Even the atheist. The atheist may say, I don't believe in God. That's okay. Here, take my mercy. Not like I'm mad at you. I want to damn you. I want to get back at you. How dare you say that there is no me? Well, that doesn't make me feel good. What kind of God's going to have a tantrum, Lack of confidence. So he's got to get counseling now because somebody doesn't believe in him. No. Krishna's like, I still love you. You're my beloved part and parcel. Fact is, but with this love affair between us and Krishna, there is, now don't abuse this is the fact though, there is nothing that you could possibly ever do in trillions of creations to make him stop loving you. You can't do it. Those who are God-like feel the same way. I may get upset, but I still love you. You see? So, excellent point. Did you have a question?
Yeah, you had talked about Krishna will give you everything you need. How does that relate to the comment that, God helps those who help themselves. I mean, that's the way I was raised. You
Right.
can't just expect everything to come to you. You have to, help yourself.
That helping yourself starts with desire. What can I do? I mean, really, what potency do I have? If I want to make a mark on the world, I'm going to have some help. I need some empowerment. If I want to be a great thief, then I need help. What are we? We are part of the energy of God. We're not the energetic. We need empowerment. We are empowered. So how do we use that empowerment? But it starts with my dear Lord, I'm begging, please give me the strength, turn my life around. To be attentive in school, to get good grades. Now, this is a material request, but it's pious because I'm asking the source. Now, I need to go out and do, but I'm looking for the empowerment of the Supreme Lord. So that, now, Krishna never says, just go someplace and sit, and I'll do it for you. But what he is saying, and we may not see it as that, we don't quite understand it. It's like a child that's learning to ride a bicycle, and father or the mother is behind holding the seat, holding them up, and the child starts to pedal. After a while, the child gets real confident. Look, mommy, I'm riding my bike, but dad's holding them, So at some point, the child gets enough confidence, dad can let go. And now off they go, you see. So we're desiring, and Krishna's holding us up. What can we do? See, we're his beloved parts and parcels. And he wants to fulfill our every desire. So if we hold that.
Yeah.
If we want faith, my dear Lord, give me faith. Krishna says, here's your faith. My dear Lord, strengthen my faith in Buddha. Here's your faith. Strengthen my faith in Lord Jesus Christ. Here it is. I want to be an atheist. I want to get away from you. Here you go. There's your atheist faith. Strengthen that desire. I'll make you a better atheist. Now, why is that? Because he has absolute confidence. He knows you can't get away from me. I'm the most beautiful. I'm the most attractive. And I'm the only thing that you've ever truly wanted and ever truly will want. Krishna never forgets that he's Krishna. So if you need to go wander around and experiment with this or that, you're going to end up ultimately right back here in my arms. Once you've completed your journey, sooner or later, you're going to want me. Then I'm going to send you some faith. I'll send you some people to help you. Wherever you go, if you want to be this faith or that faith, I'll send people to help you with that. I'll give you faith. And everything, these are like steps. Different religious beliefs are steps up to and toward loving God. All he wants. When we get to the point that we stop identifying with a particular faith, once we get to that love of God, then we can see everyone as part and parcel of God. Well, I'm a Jew, well, I'm a Baptist, I'm a this and I'm a that. Okay, yeah, you are. I mean, I was born a Jew. I went to the Baptist church, not for religious reasons. I just like it was a good place to hang out, get me out of the house. And there were pretty girls there, And then I tried impersonalism, trying to be one with it all and merge with this and that. And I tried it all until I found Krishna consciousness. And now I can see the validity in all of these religions. I can see validity in all of them to the degree that they take you towards the supreme. And some people say, well, I don't want to call him Krishna. Well, call him Fred if you want to. You know, the name Krishna offends you, concoct your own. But you just start this loving service, and ultimately you'll cry out for Krishna. So that's helping yourself. You don't just sit and, as you desire, Krishna says, I'll provide whatever you lack. And things behind the scene that you're not asking for. Out of love, he may think, you know, maybe you need a promotion in your job. Because you want to serve me in a certain way, you're going to need this. You want to become married and offer your family and your family life to me? Well, then you're going to require this. So whatever you need, Krishna provides. So does that answer your question?
To a degree. What if you ask for and don't get something you feel you need?
Well, he's on his own timeline.
Okay.
If you get to the point, two ways of looking at it. If I'm not to the point yet that I want Krishna's plan for me, in other words, I want to please you, Krishna. I'm tired of trying to write my own story because that's not working out too good for me. You've got this incredible story of my life that you have planned. I want that. So at that time, you're not putting Krishna on a timeline. I want it now. Now, until we get to that point, we may put Krishna on a timeline. I want to meet the perfect mate tomorrow. Well, Krishna may say, well, you know, you're coming to me and I really have something good planned for you, but it ain't going to happen tomorrow. You see? So, but I want it to. Well, you're not wanting what I want. So now you're straying off by yourself and starting to make demands on the material energy. Well, maybe it's God. I'm asking God to make to hook me up with the perfect mate or the perfect job or the whatever. And so, all right, he may do that, but now you want it on your timeline. It's kind of demanding, you see. But it's okay. We're spoiled kids. I mean, we're like, can you imagine children of billionaires? You know, Daddy, I want a $1 billion yacht. Okay. Yes. What else? You know, well, Krishna's like that. He doesn't have any weakness in his finances or his love for you. He'll even give you things that may not be good for you because you're eternal. And ultimately, those things that aren't good for you turn out to be good for you because you learned that you didn't want it and you don't want it again. You see? Like wandering away from it, becoming an atheist. Krishna will help you with that, knowing that you'll be back.
In some lifetime. In
some lifetime.
Okay, so the timeline you're talking about is not this lifetime, that it's eternal.
Because of our false ego, because of our identification with this body, and I'm in this material world and I identify with the body, so therefore I identify with this world, and in this world there is time. In the spiritual world there is no time. Time doesn't pass there. Krishna says, I come to this material world as Kala, eternal time. Time I am, destroyer of worlds. If Krishna didn't have time, the world would last forever. Nothing would ever wear out. You'd never have to change the oil in your car. But he comes as time to give duration. There is no duration in the spiritual world, you see. So you are an eternal living entity. time does not apply to you. It's like, I saw this cartoon one time. Somebody was saying, Krishna, how long is 20 billion years to you? And Krishna says, maybe a second. And Krishna, and then the guy says, Krishna, will you give me $100 billion? And Krishna says, yes. And then he says, when? Krishna says, in a second. So we have to get into that world. What's really happening in reality? This is like that movie, The Matrix. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Where people are in this reality that's not a reality.
Mhm.
You see, we think this is all going on. We think that I'm thinking 74 years have passed in my lifetime. In the spell of eternity, it hasn't been a nanosecond.
You're living inside a computer program.
Yeah. I mean, here, I'm an eternal living entity. And if I come to this material world and I stay here for 100 trillion years, and then I go back to Krishna, how long have I been gone? Not even a nanosecond. It's like you didn't even leave. You see, this illusory thing of time doesn't apply to you. It applies to this material world. Everything is wearing out right in front of our eyes. It's all wearing out. You see? But not us and not our home where we come from. There is no duration there. So this time confuses us. I want it now. Well, sometimes Krishna will give it to you right now. Sometimes, and I've had him do this to me more than once, I asked for something from him, and I'm thinking down the road, and he starts like right away. And I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't mean now. Although you were right, that his plan was the best. So let me get Durlop's question before I sign off.
Well, kind of one aspect of her original question seemed like was, I'm not sure. Do you remember what you first asked?
God helps to
Oh, yeah, God helps. Yeah,
and I have a comment on that too.
okay. But I was just going to say that even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is not just talking about like this whole other dimension. He's talking about us in this body and how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And he's saying, use your propensity. You've got certain propensities. You can use them in my service. In other words, if you want to serve in a certain way, because that's what he's giving you as a certain talent or whatever, then Prabhupada used to always call it dovetailing, locking it in to Krishna's service. Whatever you've got going on that you can do well, lock it into Krishna's service, and then you'll be happy, and he'll be happy. And it's much more natural. It's not artificial for you. It's not like somebody was. Krishna never told Arjuna to just quit his job and go to the forest, and just meditate. No. So do your work, but think of me.
That's exactly what I'm reminded of. Prabhupada did, his disciples. He just took their natural abilities and just to use those abilities.
Right. Prabhupada wanted us to, as you say, as Prabhupada said many times, dovetail your propensities into your offering to Guru and Krishna. What can you do? One lady said, I'm an artist. I like to paint. And Prabhupada said, then paint pictures of Krishna. And Krishna empowered her to paint pictures that Prabhupada said were like windows into the spiritual world. Krishna gave her vision of the spiritual world. He empowered her. So we have our propensities, and as we desire to serve Krishna, he will empower you far beyond whatever you can actually do yourself, or what you even think you can do, far beyond your wildest dream. You see, Krishna says, you want to serve me? Oh, here, let me give you some empowerment. But it's like getting a hug from a gorilla. The gorilla gives you a big hug. So when Krishna gives you something, it's not like little drops. It's like, oh, I love you. Let me give you some empowerment. Bam. You know? And it's far above whatever you could ever dream. Did you have a question, Kirtaneshwar?
Yeah, I wanted to say, in my experience, and also according to the scriptures, when we desire something to serve Krishna, Krishna is very reciprocal. But if we desire something material for our enjoyment, then we might not have the karma to achieve that enjoyment. We might not deserve it, so Krishna might not give it to us.
That's right. That's another thing. You may not have the karma to get your, as you sow, so shall you reap. Maybe, you're wanting eggplants, but you sowed tomatoes. All right, so you want eggplants, sow some eggplants, and I'll help you do that. So sometimes you've exhausted the karma to get what it is. Karma is a real thing. We talk about it. Bible talks about it. So many religions actually talk about karma without calling it karma. But I mean, the world is aware of that factor. Even science describes it. So it may not be that we've actually helped ourselves to be helped by Krishna. Maybe we haven't. We haven't sown the seeds. Now, what I've seen him do personally with myself and my life and many other lives is there's so many people around me. I've been in such a situation that haven't sown the seeds, yet we want to serve Krishna, and he does it anyway. He gives you propensities that you don't have. He gives you things that you really knew you weren't capable of doing. But for the purpose of serving his pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, and to help you in your spiritual life, grow in your spiritual life, he empowers you in ways that you didn't, I mean, we used to say to Prabhupada, oh, but I'm so undeserving. Yes, that's true, but endeavor anyway. Of course you don't deserve it. Nobody deserves causeless mercy. Causeless mercy means I didn't cause it. So I can't say, you owe me. No, it's causeless mercy. It's mercy that comes from Krishna just because he loves you. And just because he wants to do it for you. You didn't do anything. It's not a karmic thing. We get out of that karma and vikarma. We transcend that karma, good karma, bad karma thing when we start to do what we do as an offering of love to Guru and Krishna. There is no karma attached to that. No good, no bad. We don't want either. We don't want good karma. Good karma, at the time of death, I have to take another birth to accept my good karma. And then I may mess that up, to take a wealthy birth, handsome, wealthy, famous. Well, we've seen handsome, wealthy, famous people goof their lives up, haven't we? So I don't want good karma. I want Krishna. I just want Krishna. And Krishna wants me. So now I'm in harmony with him. We're working together. I want you. He says, well, I want you. Done deal. There are no problems. There are no impediments, except that I might have some desires here and there that'll cause me to want something else. Get off the path. Stop my service attitude to Krishna and all the living entities. stopped my service, desires to serve Guru and Krishna. Now I'm off the path. Here I am wandering around trying to figure out something else to do. To do that, to make it in the material world, I'm going to have to create a persona. I'm going to have to fit into a certain group of people. You see, if I'm a businessman, I'll have to put on a suit and tie. If I'm an artist, I'm going to wear jeans with paint all over them, and I'll wear my hair a certain way, and I'll wear a certain jewelry, and I'm identifying with the material world. I am off the path. You see, I've lost contact with myself. What am I? I'm just a servant of Krishna, a loving servant of Krishna. Now, having said that, if you're a loving servant of Krishna, you can dress any way you want to. If your job requires a suit and tie, put it on. If you're an artist for Krishna and you feel like you could serve Krishna better if you dress like an artist, do it. You're doing it for Krishna. The activity is the same, but you're doing it as an offering of love to Krishna. You see? Different consciousness. Same activity, different consciousness. So, any more questions?
I think
Just one comment I had.
Yeah.
This God helps those who help themselves is written by Benjamin Franklin. It's not a part of any religious text. The Christian text actually says that God helps those who cannot help themselves.
In the Bible?
In the Bible.
Oh, okay.
So that was a perversion at some point. It entered into the evangelical faith, where it was the televangelists who projected that. And the whole idea was that, okay, send me money, so God will give you money.
Yeah.
So you're helping yourself.
There's
by
a
sending
lot
money. Yeah.
of things that are said that people accept and have for hundreds of years that are in the Bible that are not in the Bible.
That are not in the, and
I've
this
got
one verse is, this one thing is,
It's like
the Bible of Benjamin Franklin.
cleanliness is next to godliness.
Yeah.
99% of the people believe that's in the Bible. It is not in the Bible. I've got a friend in Dallas who's my age, and he's been a Christian all his life. So is his whole family. Pretty much knows the Bible memorized. So sometimes we sit down and have discussions about things that they say that are in the Bible, but are not in the Bible. But people think, well, they should be. And you know what? Maybe I can get you to believe it is for maybe a little cha-ching. If you'll send me money. Remember that guy in Dallas?
Rent for a dollar.
I forgot. He would be preaching on the radio. Back when people used to listen to the radio, there used to be a time when people listened to radios. And he would say, put your hand on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel the warmth of God? Well, the radios were warm.
Benny him.
Huh?
Benny him.
Yeah. And he would say, and he would end up saying, now you send that money, write that check, put it in that envelope, and you send it to God. Then he would give you his address. And he got a lot of people sending him money. Put your hand on the radio. And it worked for years. So
It works today.
huh?
It works today.
It works. Yeah, it still works.
Yeah.
You see?
Oral Roberts, Singapore, all of those.
Remember Oral Roberts?
He had the whole.
Oral Roberts was saying one time that God said that if he didn't collect $2 million by a certain time, that he was going to bring him home. He was going to kill him.
Mhm.
And he was trying to get people to send money for this project that he had up in Oklahoma. And then Johnny Carson said on his show today, he said, I had a message from God. God said he'd give me $2 million if I killed Oral Roberts.
He was just helping himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so the devotees of Krishna are not looking for your money. Prabhupada used to say, we don't need their money. They need to give it to Krishna. We, if we receive it, need to engage it in Krishna's service. But it's not a question of charge. You give me or else, or I'm expecting that. That kind of, once there's business involved, then it taints the whole picture.
There's no
Tainted.
quid pro quo.
Hmm?
There's no quid pro quo.
No quid pro quo. Yeah. So, all right. Have I rambled on long enough? Let me see who's left there. Krishna,
I have a question.
Melissa. It's good to see you, Melissa.
Krishna, who's saying who's a question?
Oh, Krishna Charan, you have a question?
Yes. After just hearing this last conversation, what's the best way that the devotees can develop the trust with other people who are not devotees, so that way they can really get the pleasure from hearing about devotees and hearing about Krishna?
How can you trust them that are not devotees?
Or how can we devotees develop trust, or how can we allow other people to trust us, so that way they know that they're giving a true, authentic message on God consciousness?
We have to be genuine. So in other words, we have to be genuine. Even if you're fully genuine and you're speaking from you, from the soul, with no motivation, no material motivation, still some people may not trust you. Maybe not right now. So, but they're going to look at your steps. What steps have you taken in your life? How are you actually living your life? Your talk and your walk, do they match up? You see? So it's not like we are part-time loving devotee of Krishna. You know, one day you see me and I'm just not I'm not a loving devotee of Krishna. I'm all caught up in some material thing. You see, that shows that I'm not genuine. We have to be genuine. It's 24/7. You know, it's like husband and wife. Husband and wife are in love 24/7. Is your wife there listening? She better be listening. She's going to remind you. Did you hear what Guru said?
There she is.
There she is. Am I right, Kim?
Yeah.
Love between husband and wife is 24/7. Love between father and or mother and father and children is 24/7. You don't step out of the character of being a father or a husband or a wife. You see, there are people who do that. You know, I've seen people when I was a young man in sales, a married guy with a house full of kids, and he'd go to a sales convention and he's acting like he's some sort of a man about town, a single guy out looking for women. So he stepped out of his phony character. Why is it phony? Because it was temporary. It wasn't permanent. You either are or you're not in love. Love shouldn't, if it's real love, it doesn't flicker, you see. Even like we were talking last night, love sometimes may have some challenges. The love is there. Love is tested under stress. Relationships are tested under stress, you see. So to get back to your question, you have to find yourself, your genuine, loving, serving self, and be that all the time. People may not trust you in the beginning, but after some time, they'll realize, I believe that you believe in this Krishna consciousness. You know, I fully believe that you fully believe, and that that has an impact on my belief. Does that make any sense? Did I answer your question?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the best way to instill trust in others is to give an authentic, real representation, a genuine reputation of devotee life.
Right. And we have to trust, but we also have to be cautious sometimes, because in this material world, there are people, the material world is full of people who, the four disqualifications that we all take on when we take on material bodies is we have a tendency to make mistakes. We have imperfect senses, so we can't perceive everything always as reality. We have a tendency to cheat others. And we have a tendency to fall under illusion. I have a tendency to come under illusion. So we may be making strides towards getting out of those four problems that living entities have, but others haven't yet. Doesn't mean we don't love them any less, but we might have to keep an eye on them. How many people tell you, oh, yes, I'll do this. I'll meet you there, And, we're going to have a kirtan in the park. Oh, yeah, I'll be there. Well, they don't show, So you trust that they will, but then you're not disappointed when they don't show. You see? Because they can be distracted. You see what I mean? We still love them.
Yes, Gurudev. Yes.
So, trust is something that we invest, and that, we get to know later on if that investment was worthwhile. We trust people, and then we learn how we should or should not have trusted them. And it doesn't mean that we don't love them. Just like we've talked about, we love all living entities, but it's just like we may love, it's like the other day, there was this big, long 6-foot snake out in front of Gorgadadhar's house. I don't know. I think it might have been a king snake. I think he was going over to your house. He asked me for directions to your house. It was a gigantic snake. I mean, he was huge. I've got a picture of him. And so anyway, we may find venomous snakes. It's like you in the desert, you see these rattlesnakes.
Was it black?
And they're
Yeah.
Now he was, you see these rattlesnakes, and they're very, very attractive. You see?
That's a good snake to have.
And anyway, you may decide, I think this real pretty snake, I think I'm going to be friends with it. So maybe I'll pet him, I'll give him some food. You see? But then you find out, well, I can't be as close with this entity as I want it to be. He has a tendency to bite and poison. So therefore, I still love you, but I kind of have to take a few steps back. So we have toxic people in our lives that we can still love, but we might have to take a step or two back, because because they're toxic, they'll share their poison with you. They may be telling you always negative things and, wreck your day, put you in a mood, criticize you. No matter what you do, you cannot. You see what I mean? So, yes, I love you, but hey, gosh, look at the time. I'll see you later. Bye. You see? So there are certain areas that we can trust. I can trust my friend, the rattlesnake, 100% that he will bite me if I give him an opportunity. I know it. I guarantee you. You see? And I can guarantee you that if I keep my distance, he won't bite me. We have encounters. You go walking and chanting in the desert. You see these rattlesnakes and so.
But that's the creation that Krishna has created.
Yeah.
And that rattlesnake too is a part of that creation.
He's a part of it. And I don't harass him because I'm walking in his living room.
Now, let me.
So he may be there, but I say, look, let me give you some space. You obviously don't like me in your space, so I can live with that.
Now, coming from Jainism, we believe that we take a form. We may take a form as a human in this life, and we may take a form as a rattlesnake in the next life.
We believe that too.
Is that okay?
Is that the
There's-
same thing when you say, we have a million lives or a trillion lives?
Yeah, there are 8,400,000 species of life. Amongst those, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, 400,000 of those 8,400,000 species, 400,000 are humans. There's 400,000 species of human being in the cosmos. So that means there are humans somewhere else out there, because obviously there's not 400,000 species of humans on planet Earth. You see?
The only two.
Huh?
The only two. Sort of. I'm just kidding.
We have a Vedic, Ravindra Prabhu is a Vedic scholar. There's only two species of human being, Asura and Asura. Sura and Asura, devotee and demon. So, but beyond that. So yeah, we have been through all through those 8,400,000 species again and again and again and again, ad nauseum. So, did I answer your question, Krishna Charan?
Yes, Guru Dave, thank you so much.
All
All
right,
clear.
all right.
Loved every detail. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining, Melissa. It was really good to see you.
Hare Krishna Gurudev. Thank you.
Kirtaneshwar, Lalita Priya, what a treasure. Oh, is that all right? Kirtaneshwar Garanga Ki Jai. All right, get out there and serve Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories to God. Hare Krishna.
This was
George,
recorded, so we're going to put it up out there so you can watch it.
Thank you so